Stand on the shores of the Bosphorus today, and you are standing in the only city on earth that belongs to two continents, a city fought over by emperors, sultans, crusaders, and conquerors, a city that has been destroyed, rebuilt, renamed, and reborn again and again. This is not just the story of a city. This is the story of power, faith, betrayal, and survival. This is the entire history of Istanbul. Long before empires existed, this place was defined by geography. The Bosphorus Strait, narrow and dangerous, connected the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. Whoever controlled it controlled trade between Europe and Asia. Around 660 BCE, Greek settlers founded a small colony here and named it Byzantium. It was not large and it was not powerful, but it was perfectly placed. Grain flowed through its waters, ships passed its shores, and trade made it valuable. Even then, Byzantium was a city worth fighting for. By the 1st century BCE, Rome dominated the Mediterranean world, and Rome eventually noticed Byzantium. In the year 196 CE, the Roman Emperor Septimius Severus destroyed the city for backing his rival in a civil war. Then, almost immediately, he rebuilt it stronger than before. But the true turning point came in 330 CE, when Emperor Constantine made a decision that would change history. He moved the capital of the Roman Empire east. Rome was old, unstable, and exposed. Byzantium was secure, wealthy, and strategic. The city was renamed Constantinople, the city of Constantine, and it was designed to be a new Rome. Constantine transformed the city into an imperial masterpiece. Massive walls rose from the ground. Palaces, forums, and aqueducts reshaped the skyline. At the center stood the Hagia Sophia, a monument meant to reflect divine authority on earth. Constantinople became the richest city in Europe, protected by the Theodosian walls, defenses so strong they would repel enemies for centuries. While the Western Roman Empire collapsed under invasion and chaos, Constantinople survived. In 476 CE, Rome fell. Constantinople did not. Over time, the empire centered on Constantinople evolved into what we now call the Byzantine Empire. It was Roman in law, Greek in language, and Christian in faith. The city became the beating heart of Orthodox Christianity. Emperors ruled not just as political leaders, but as God's representatives on earth. Churches multiplied, rituals grew elaborate, and religious authority became inseparable from imperial power. Yet faith did not bring peace. Riots erupted, civil wars broke out, and fierce debates over religious images tore society apart. Still, Constantinople endured, a shining city surrounded by enemies. In 1204, the unthinkable happened. Crusaders from Western Europe, originally sent to fight Muslims, turned their weapons on Constantinople itself. The Fourth Crusade stormed the city, looting churches, smashing icons, and stealing sacred relics. Constantinople was burned, humiliated, and stripped of its wealth by fellow Christians. A Latin empire ruled briefly, but the damage was irreversible. When Byzantine forces reclaimed the city in 1261, it was poorer, weaker, and deeply scarred. The empire never truly recovered. As Constantinople weakened, a new power rose to the east, the Ottoman Turks. By the 14th century, Ottoman territories surrounded the city. Constantinople became an isolated Christian stronghold in a growing Islamic world. By 1453, its population had collapsed, its defenses were decaying, and its army was painfully small. Facing the city stood Sultan Mehmed II, only 21 years old, determined to claim what generations before him had failed to take. Cannons roared against walls that had protected the city for 1,000 years. For 53 days, Constantinople resisted. Then, on May 29, 1453, the walls were breached. Emperor Constantine XI died fighting in the streets. Constantinople fell. The Middle Ages ended, and the modern world began. Mehmed II entered the city not as a destroyer, but as a conqueror who intended to rule. He claimed Constantinople as his capital. Under Ottoman rule, the city was reborn. Churches became mosques, including the Hagia Sophia, transformed into a symbol of Islamic power. Christians and Jews were allowed to remain, forming vibrant communities. The city was repopulated, rebuilt, and revitalized. Slowly, the name Istanbul, derived from a Greek phrase meaning "to the city," became common. Under Suleiman the Magnificent, Istanbul reached its golden age, a center of architecture, scholarship, trade, and imperial authority, rivaling Rome at its height. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the Ottoman Empire began to decline. European powers surged ahead technologically and militarily. Istanbul modernized with railways, reforms, and new institutions, but the empire could not escape collapse. After World War I, the Ottoman state dissolved. In 1923, the Republic of Turkey was founded, and the capital moved to Ankara. Istanbul lost its political status, but not its importance. Today, Istanbul is no longer an imperial capital, yet it remains something extraordinary. Roman walls stand beside Ottoman mosques. Churches, synagogues, and minarets share the same skyline. Europe and Asia meet here every single day. Empires rose in this city. Empires fell here, but Istanbul endured. And as long as the Bosphorus continues to flow, history will never leave this place.